Hello, welcome to another video of Apigia History Videos. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Spanish Monarchy. The Spanish Monarchy goes way back, but we're going to start with two very important king and queen. So, Ferdinand the First and Isabella the First. Why do we start with those two? So, for starters, they actually made the Spanish kingdom look like the way it is. Isabella the First was actually the ruler of Castile, and Ferdinand the First was the ruler of Aragon. Now, Aragon and Castile were two kingdoms that were right beside each other, and they were separate kingdoms. But when these two married, they joined their two kingdoms together to create the one big kingdom of Spain. Now, their daughter was Joanna the Mad, who married, let me make a better line, who was Joanna the Mad, who married Philip the Fair. Philip the Fair was the son of the Habsburg king, which is basically the Habsburg king is the king of the Holy Roman Empire. So the Philip the Fair was sort of the heir to the throne for the Habsburg Empire or the Holy Roman Empire, but he never really got the throne. But his son Charles the First, he got the throne, and he was called Charles the First in Spain and Charles the Fifth in the Habsburg Empire. So he ruled both Spain and the Habsburg Empire. So he had a very large empire. He got the throne for both Habsburg Empire and Spain. So Charles the First in Spain, Charles the Fifth in the Habsburg Empire. So his son was Philip II, and he was only the king of Spain. Why is that? Well, because Charles the First gave the Habsburg Empire, or the Holy Roman Empire, away to his brother, Ferdinand the First, and he gave the Spanish Empire to his son, Philip II. So Philip II was only the king of Spain. Philip II is very famous for many reasons, including, so one reason is because he ruled at the height of the Spanish power when Spain was the most powerful, a very powerful country. His rule is called the Golden Age of Spain. Like, he ruled during the Golden Age of Spain, and he also is sort of famous for sending an armada to England to conquer England, but failing because Sir Francis Drake defeated the Spanish Armada, which is surprising because the Spanish Armada was considered to be undefeatable. And he's also famous for starting the 80 Years' War. The 80 Years' War lasted from 1568 to 1648. And the 80 Years' War is also called the is also called the Dutch War of Independence, because the Spanish Empire controlled some Dutch lands, and the Dutch fought back against them in the 80 Years' War, which was from 1568 to 1648. This war did not just end in Philip II's reign, but it lasted from Philip II's reign to Philip III's reign, and it ended in Philip IV's reign. So it lasted in three kings' reigns. And this war is what really bankrupted Spain and led to its decline. So it declined. So from Philip II, it was increasing, and from Philip II, it declined after that. And it was all because of this one war. Well, it's mainly because of that one war. So Philip III marries Margaret of Austria, and their son Philip IV marries Mariana of Austria, and they have a son, Charles II. And it's important to note that the Dutch actually won the 80 Years' War, as you probably have inferred by now, and they got their independence. So Charles II, the son of Philip IV, was a very sickly child, inept of ruling an empire, and he was also unable to have kids, so he died without an heir. And he said that I want the throne of Spain to be inherited by Philip of Anjou. So Charles II says that he wants the Spanish throne to be inherited by Philip of Anjou. Now, Philip of Anjou is the grandson of no other than Louis XIV. Louis the 14th. And Louis XIV, who is a Bourbon, is the king of France. Now, France is already super powerful, and the rest of Europe doesn't really want France to get the Spanish Empire and become even more powerful. Um, so basically, let's recap. What happened? Charles II gives the throne to Philip of Anjou, and Philip of Anjou is a little kid, and his grandfather is Louis the 14th. And so when Charles II gives the throne to Philip of Anjou, it's effectively giving the throne to Louis the 14th. And Louis the 14th is already very, very powerful, and the rest of Europe doesn't want him to become even more powerful. That's what sparks the Spanish War of Succession, which basically has all of Europe fighting for the throne of Spain. The Spanish War of Succession ends with the Treaty of Utrecht, which says that Philip of Anjou, oh, oh, which says Philip of Anjou will get the throne of Spain, but he cannot ever join with Louis XIV's empire. So Philip of Anjou gets the throne and gets the name Philip V, right? But the deal is that he can never join with the French Empire ever to create one supermassive empire. So Philip V starts ruling Spain, and he marries Elizabeth Farnese and has Charles III. And Charles III is called the best mayor of Madrid, which is because he did a lot for the city of Madrid. Now, he wasn't really the mayor of Madrid, he was the king of Spain, but he did a lot for the city of Madrid. Now, this line from Philip the Fair and Joanna the Mad all the way down to here, to Charles II, this line is called the Habsburg line because it's from Philip the Fair, who was a Habsburg. And this line from Philip the V all the way to today is called the Bourbon line because remember, Louis the 14th was a Bourbon, hence Philip the Fifth is a Bourbon since these two were related. And the Bourbon line continues today, but there were some interruptions in the Bourbon line, like when Napoleon Bonaparte put his brother Joseph Bonaparte at the throne of Spain. That was an interruption in the Bourbon line. Another interruption was when Francisco Franco ousted Alfonso the 13th and took over the Spanish, not really throne, but he took over Spain. And then after Franco was dying, he said the person to take over the throne after him, or take over Spain after him, will be Juan Carlos I, who was actually the grandson of Alfonso the 13th. Now, Franco expected Juan Carlos I to continue his iron fist, you can call it iron fist policies, but Juan Carlos actually didn't, and he gave up the throne, and he made Spain a constitutional monarchy as it is today. I hope this video was helpful, and this is a Piggy Sonny signing out. And the family tree used in this video can be found on my blog, and the blog's link is in the description. This is a Piggy Sonny signing out. Thanks for watching.